If you are thinking about moving to Boise, Idaho, you're gonna wanna watch this video because we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's right, we're gonna talk about the ugly, so make sure you stay tuned to the very end because the ugly is what I call essentially a double-edged sword. It's good and bad. Now, many people from this YouTube channel have given me a call and I've moved them out here. And I know you watch plenty of other YouTube channels from my colleagues here and watched all the pros and con videos. So my goal in this video is to give you some fresh ideas, a little more detailed, a little more nuanced than just broad general topic. But like my pro number one, it can't really break it down. It's just the given pro around here is that we have true 4-season weather here and nothing is too extreme. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we are in the middle of winter here and this is what the outside looks like. No snow, it's cloudy, foggy, cold out. I think we're about 40s right now. And there hasn't been any snowfall as of yet. Last week they predicted snow, but by the time it came around, there was no snow. So again, it's hit or miss around here. Sometimes we get an influx of snow, sometimes we don't. Last year, didn't snow very much. Then one day, I had 14 inches of snow on my driveway. Have fun shoveling that. But other than that, I mean, nothing too extreme, right? We're not having that constantly week after week where you're shoveling 14 feet of snow every single day. Now, summer comes around, it gets pretty hot. We can hit up to the hundreds, but for the most part, those 100-degree weather days, they're, few far in between. They last maybe a week or two in the crux of summer. But the absolute best part is that the sunset sets so late, so you can be out till like 9 p.m. I had my in-laws in town before, and they were surprised that it's 9 p.m., the sun was still out, and we were still able to go outside and enjoy things without worrying that it's too late or getting too cold outside. It feels great during the late evening time, so you can spend more time outside. Fall is absolutely beautiful. All the trees change colors, and you can get to different points in the valley and just kind of look over and you'll see all the leaves changing color. Make sure you check out Harrison Boulevard. It's always nice to walk down that street when the leaves are changing color. Spring's when the entire valley comes alive and, start to get some gardening out. People are coming out, hitting the river, starting the fishing. It's a spectacular time to be around here. So if you're gonna visit Boise, make sure you come in spring. I always suggest that, and fall. Those are my two favorite seasons, so check those out. Pro number two is that Boise is what I have deemed and called a 30-minute city. A lot of times when I have people visiting town, they're asking me questions. Oh, how's this part of town? How long does it take to get from here to here, here to there? And essentially pretty much 30 minutes to get anywhere within the valley. Now, of course, if you're in the very top northwest corner of Middleton or Caldwell or Star, and you're going all the way to southeast Boise at the crux of lunchtime or rush hour, you're not gonna get there in 30 minutes. But generally, midday, non-rush hour time, you can get from point A to point B anywhere in the valley within 30 minutes. I live down in Kuna. I have to commute up to Meridian, to Boise, to Napa all the time, even up to Star. And it takes me just about 30 minutes to get there from Kuna. And Kuna's kind of all the way at the very south end of the valley. One pro tip I would take is pretty much just avoid Eagle Road. You'll get jammed up a lot there. I personally avoid the freeway, just in case there's any crashes or anything like that. That's gonna delay your what I call the 30-minute drive time from anywhere in the valley. But we'll get more on traffic and the cons in a little bit. Pro number three is gonna be your water access to the valley. You have Lucky Peak, you have Lake Lowell, you have the Boise River, you have the Payette River. You have a lot of canals that just go through the cities that just, makes you feel like you're closer to water. All-time favorite around here is floating down the Boise River. It's a good, I think it's about 45-minute trip from the start, which is Barber Park, all the way down to Ann Morrison Park. Another favorite around here is doing some paddle boarding or kayaking over at Esther Simplot Park. It's also a great place to go sit and just have a picnic. Like I mentioned before, during the summertime, the sun sets super late in the day. So you can go out there, after work, 6 p.m., 7, 8 p.m., and just truly enjoy your time outside of work. I think a lot of the time from other places, you get off work, you're stuck in traffic, commuting all the way home, and then it's have dinner and go to bed. But here, the fantastic part about summer and the water access is you can go enjoy all these activities outside late at night after work. Now, some of my most favorite water activities here in the valley are two things. One, going whitewater rafting, and two, going out and searching for some hot springs. Hot springs are a huge thing here. I don't think many people go out for hot springs as they would because they don't know where they're at. So if you're interested in whitewater rafting or learning more about the hot springs around here, you gotta shoot me a text and I will fill you in on all my favorite locations to go. Pro number 4 is that Boise is extremely dog friendly. What do I mean by that is that there are so many parks and trails and pathways for you to go and take your dog out for a walk and just let them roam free and run. Nearly every neighborhood has some sort of park or open area for you to go take your dog. If you want to drive somewhere and let them off their leash, you have places like Story Park or Ann Morrison Dog Island. That's right, there is a little park called Ann Morrison, and the dog section has its own island where you can let them roam free. It's a huge area surrounded by this little river ravine. Your dogs can go swimming, chase some of the geese, which I don't advise, all while being contained in that little area. If you want to go much simpler, you can take your dog for a walk on the Boise Greenbelt. If you want something a little more advanced for your dog, you can head up to the Boise foothills because they're allowed up there. Just make sure you keep your dog on a leash and pick up after them because we don't want to damage and vandalize the Boise foothills. Now, Boise is just a great fit for people who have dogs, especially big ones who need to get out and have the energy to run, to jump in the Boise River. If you don't have a dog, I highly suggest you get one because dogs are amazing, but that's okay. You will see dogs everywhere around here when you're out to eat, walking the Greenbelt, just in the foothills or anything like that. Great place for dogs. Pro number 5, look, it's a generic topic. Boise, generally, all around, it's just a safe place to live. Now, I know a lot of people move here because they're running from places that have a lot of violent crime. And quite honestly, they're not wrong. It's very safe here. Crime still does happen. You can't do anything about that. But for the most part, Boise just feels comfortable, clean, has a safe environment. It's something I can't really explain other than when you come here and visit, I encourage you, just go walk downtown, walk in downtown Meridian, walk in downtown Star, start talking to people, and you'll kind of feel it. There's a vibe, there's something to it that I can't explain, but this is just a huge upgrade for those of you who are moving here from chaotic downtown metro areas. Huge change. It's something you have to just kind of experience when you get here. Now, really quickly before we move on, look, I get calls all the time from people on YouTube who just need a little bit of guidance, need a little advice, where to start looking, maybe some new homes, new neighborhoods, new cities, new builders they haven't considered. And that's what I absolutely love to do. So please just go ahead and give me a call or a text. We'll hop on the most low pressure phone call you've ever had, and we'll come up with a game plan on how to get you here to Boise, Idaho. Now, moving on to con number 1 is going to be our wildfire and smoky season. So from about, I don't know, maybe August, September, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later, there is a chance for us to get some wildfires around us. Not necessarily here in the valley, but the mountains around us, maybe from Oregon. And we are a valley, so all these fires happen around us, north, central, east Oregon, and it kind of gets trapped down here in the valley and sits down here. So if you didn't have allergies, you might start seeing a spike in allergies. People who are already prone to allergies or prone to, sickness because of the air quality. The air quality does go down during this time, so that is something to be aware of. Your outdoor activities as well are probably going to cancel if you had outdoor plans. In fact, I had a trip booked for whitewater rafting down the Payette River, and it was pretty much in the middle of smoky season. We were stubborn and we didn't cancel our trip. We ended up rafting down the Payette River through the canyons, and at the very top of the valleys, the little peaks, you can see where the fire was, and you still see some smoke going through there. Probably wasn't healthiest for us to be breathing in all that air, but got choices to make. Just know that air quality around here can go down depending on what's happening around us in terms of fires. Con number 2 will be the restaurant scene. It is small. This is a growing area for new restaurants coming to the market. If you are on Instagram, a very popular place to learn about new restaurants, and if you follow all the influencers around here, you'll see and hear about all these new restaurants that are opening throughout the valley, which is great. Things are growing, expanding around here because we don't have a lot of options compared to metropolitan cities. But you'll also notice a lot of these restaurants will open up, and in 2-3 years time, they'll be gone. Why that is, I'm not in the restaurant industry, but I gotta imagine the restaurant industry is really tough especially around here. I don't know exactly what the root cause is. Maybe people aren't going out to eat as much, prices, economical factors, etc. But all that to say that there are some really great restaurants around here. I know a lot of chefs and restaurant owners around here. I'd be more than happy to shoot you over a list of my favorite restaurants, my favorite places to go, my favorite things to eat around here. So if you want that information, just reach out to me and I'll send that your way. Now, con number 3 is gonna be our limited big city amenities. So around here, we have concerts, we have events that get thrown. Every once in a while, some famous person will be through town and everyone will go to their concert and your Instagram feed will get flooded because everyone goes because there's not very many people coming through town. And in fact, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad showed up in Boise one day. I think he was promoting his new vodka brand and the city blew up and everyone was out there taking pictures and like, hey, look, Aaron Paul's in town. Like the whole city goes crazy whenever someone of, you know, celebrity status comes through town. Nightlife, clubs, entertainment, things like that. It's gonna be limited, few to none around here. I think we have 1 or 2 nighttime club type things. We have a couple music halls and venues, but again, it's not very often you get some A-lister person showing up here as compared to New York or Los Angeles or Atlanta or something like that. Sport teams, we don't have a major league sports team. If you're not into college football, you're probably gonna wanna get into college football. Our biggest team here is Boise State University. Start watching college football before you get here so you have some sort of understanding how the game works and a team to cheer on. And I would be a fool for not mentioning this because I hear all the time, a lot of people complain about how we don't have an IKEA. Our nearest major cities, Portland, Salt Lake City, they have IKEAs. I think Seattle does too, but those are our 3 major cities near us and we don't have one. And I don't even think they ship here. So if you're an IKEA shopper, you might want to check that out. Last I heard, they don't ship to Idaho, so you're gonna have to drive over and pick up any items you want from IKEA. Con number 4, now this one is a pain. The infrastructure is growing. There is construction going on everywhere. And I'm not even just talking about new construction homes being built. I'm talking about roadways. In fact, just by my house, one of the back roads I take to avoid the main road has been shut down for the past month or 2. And they have the closed from this date to that date, and it would say things like, as November 10th approach, it says closed from here. They changed the sign, closed from here till start of December, and they kept extending it just for road maintenance and putting in new pipes and things like that. Really annoying. I know it's much needed. As you'll see throughout the valley, there are single lane roads being converted to 2-lane roads. 2-lane roads can be converted to 4-lane roads. Eagle Road's going through a whole new transition. There's plans for Meridian Road to be transitioned to extend beyond where it does. So there's a lot of growth happening here and you can start to really feel it in the roadways. And on top of that, you have all these road closures going on, creating really heavy choke points in certain parts of the valley. Mix in my theory of different styles of driving because of all the people moving here from different parts of the country. You're seeing a lot more collisions and crashes, which creates more backed up traffic. And it really gets frustrating when your 10-minute drive to get home just turns into a 30-minute, 35-minute adventure or something like that. That leads us to con number 5, which is gonna be our small airport. Now, small airport, it's great, it's fantastic. I actually love our airport. It's super easy to get through TSA and get to your gate, hop on your plane, etc. You can probably get through TSA honestly in about 10, 20 minutes on an average day. Obviously on a hectic, big travel day, it might take a little longer, but super easy to get through. But the reason I have it labeled as a con is because flights out of our airport, a lot more tougher. For some reason, like I mentioned just a little while ago, our neighboring cities, Portland, Seattle, Salt Lake City, if you wanted to fly to one of those, even Las Vegas, not too far, they're only about an hour and a half flight, but I've seen them upwards of $200 a ticket, $300 a ticket, and it blows my mind because it's so close to get to. Why are we paying such high prices? I think it's just because we have a smaller airport. If you're a person who travels a lot or is gonna be traveling out for work, you're probably gonna find yourself having to take either 1, connecting flights, which is really annoying for people like me who hate flying, or 2, you're gonna have to take flights at inconvenient times. You're only gonna get 1 flight throughout the day that goes direct or something like that. That's for me. I go down to Atlanta a lot. I like to visit down there. And there is only one flight during the day I can take that's direct from Boise to Atlanta. I'm at the will of that flight. Unless I want to do some other crazy connecting 10, 12-hour days, I'd rather not. I have to pay premium prices just to get a direct flight from here to Atlanta. So with all that being said, if you are still interested in moving to Boise, Idaho, and you can still see the pros of moving here and think it's something that's gonna be positive impact on your life, go ahead and give me a call. Let's discuss it. Let's talk through it. Let's see what parts of the valley would be good for you, what cities, what neighborhoods, what builder if you're looking for a new construction, and we'll come up with a game plan. So when you are ready to make the jump, we will take off running. So I will see you on the next video. Take care.